Our first post comes to us from Thumbelina. Since we always talk about what's natural and what's not, have we ever considered the idea that if I have to go to the gym for my body to look a certain way, then that's not how my body is naturally designed to look? Xion replied, gyms are unnatural, of course, but Twinkies and fast food restaurants? Literally staples of the African savanna, yo. Sage Planter, hunting for Swedish berries and setting traps for gummy bears. The one who was. The rare and elusive gummy bear. Catching one is exhausting, but it's what the body wants.
Fluffy Emotion brings us, the food you enjoy eating is the healthiest choice for you. Holly Ann replies, I watched a show about a woman who ate car tires. Pretty sure that is what she said, too.
From Deathwish, apparently offering sugar-free options is promoting eating disorders in diet culture. Demi Lovato posted on Instagram, finding it extremely hard to order froyo from The Big Chill Official when you have to walk past tons of sugar-free cookies / other diet foods before you get to the counter. Do better, please. Hashtag diet culture vultures. About Non Sequiturs replied to that part, does Demi not realize froyo is the diet food version of ice cream? But Demi Lovato wasn't done. She added more on her Instagram page. So I think I'm going to have to make that hashtag a thing. I will be calling harmful messaging from brands or companies that perpetuate a society that not only enables but praises disordered eating. Hashtag diet culture vultures. The store replies, we are not diet culture vultures. We cater to all of our customer needs for the past 36 years. We are sorry you found this offensive. Demi replies, not just that. Your service was terrible. So rude. The whole experience was triggering and awful. You can carry things for other people while also caring for another percentage of your customers who struggle daily just to even step foot in your store. You can find a way to provide an inviting environment for all people with different needs, including eating disorders, one of the deadliest mental illnesses, only second to overdoses. Don't make excuses, just do better. Since y'all want to keep this going, at The Big Chill Official. Then she digs deep and finds a post from 4 years ago, at the yogurt shop, showing some cookies. It says, 22 grams of protein, eat me, guilt-free. The Big Chill Official writes, new Eat Me Guilt-Free cookies and cakes, so yummy. Demi replies, this screams diet culture and I won't be gaslit by the media or anyone else that says otherwise. I don't need to feel guilt-free about anything. This was what I was talking about, and this is directly from their own page at the Big Chill Official. Note that the words guilt-free are there because that's the brand name of the cookies. And Demi added even more. I was thinking, maybe it would help if you made it more clear that the sugar-free options and vegan options are for that. Labeling the cookies for celiac and diabetes or vegans. When it's not super clear, the messaging gets confusing, and being in LA, it's hard to distinguish diet culture versus health needs. I think clearer messaging would be more beneficial for everyone. You aren't wrong for catering to many different needs, but it's about not excluding one demographic to cater to others. Prayer. Keeping this transparent, even though I'm done. Carol replied, yes, please label every specific food with our diseases. I'd like to order a diabetic yogurt for myself and an irritable bowel ice cream for my friend. Do you have any of that celiac disease cones? That's not embarrassing at all.
Another Richard brings us. This is from the Fat Doctor UK. Warning, do not compare fat folks to anti-vaxxers. Stop suggesting we are both a drain on resources and are taking up hospital beds. That's such a false equivalency. Fat people do not choose to be fat, nor can we do something to prevent us from getting sick. Little tidbit about the Fat Doctor UK, in case you didn't know. She was actually able to lose weight, but apparently she did it in a bad way because she felt depressed when she did it, so she decided to become a fat activist. Real Daniel Latte replies, I am fat. I chose to stuff myself for years with unhealthy food. Seeing stuff like this makes me pretty mad, to be honest. There is no accountability for their poor life decisions. Blame it all on society and fat phobia. It's telling that most of the fat activists are in their 20s. You are not hearing a 60-year-old woman with diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, double knee surgery, and a hip replacement talk about fat acceptance. Sorry for the rant. Lune Soleil brings us, fatness is supernatural by breaking time and disrupting the future. Equivalent Island posts a very similar one. We can't just be anti-diet because diets don't work. We need to be anti-diet even if diets did work, because fat bodies are magical and we need them in this world. Apprehensive Mud replies, what's with this self-fetishization?
Alto Ultra brings us, dieting is the new smoking. Proud Unemployment. No, pretty sure the new smoking is obesity. Everyone's arguing that it's better that you get fat. Fat celebrities are all the rage. People keep justifying being fat as being not a big deal in terms of health, as well as saying, my body, my choice. You've definitely got the parallel to the tobacco lobbyists in the form of fast food companies like McDonald's. And the products that get you fat are also designed to be as addicting as possible. Ouchie brings us, I feel better in a small body. And some people feel better when they take cocaine, but that doesn't mean it's a sustainable way of living. Vital Musician. They're saying obesity is more sustainable than a healthy weight, and comparing not eating everything in sight to an addiction. From Spizzerat. Is this calorie-free as well? Someone asks. Answer.
Well, that depends on your personal metabolism and system. The idea of a calorie is fake. Your system responds to what your system responds to. But when they say this is sugar-free, that's basically what they mean. Your body will not have a glycemic reaction to this, generally.
Kitsune Milk replies, energy does not exist. Pack it up, Tesla. Your cars run on lies. Jessica Pop. It's true. I scream lies at my Tesla and it makes it go. Vroom vroom.
From VD.
I think so much of the enthusiasm for replacing cars with biking, walking, also has a lot to do with internalized fat phobia. Especially on the left, the ableism and fat phobia run disturbingly deep. They are evil twins.
Modified Final.
But I thought you could be perfectly fat and fit, and here you are saying fat people have mobility issues? Which is it?
From Elphaba.
I speak as someone who lost a loved one to complications from undiagnosed diabetes due to weight. He was in the 20s, blindsided us all. So I now advocate for the tough conversation that acknowledges carrying excessive weight is living in great risk that we should work on reducing. I speak as a fat diabetic. The first thing that reliably messes up my body's ability to manage any kind of food, someone trying to have a tough conversation, also known as stigmatizing, hurtful messages. My health is so much better and care more evidence-based by avoiding that violence.
Kangaroo.
I love how they always contradict their own fundamental rules. First, their bodies are supposed to be separate from their minds. They have minds of their own. They decide what size to be, what food to crave. They can't influence their bodies in any way, unless another person has a conversation with them. Second, emotional eating is supposed to be this great thing. It is the way your body protects you from stress, from pandemic, from everything. Apart from the stress of having a tough conversation, then your body forgets how to produce insulin.
From Cinderella. My doctor just told me I was borderline overweight and to eat more vegetables. So while we're looking out for each other, I told her hair is dry and brittle and to use a moisturizing conditioner. Maddie Butterfly replied, what even? Imagine you are a doctor and your patient is overweight and you tell them to make more healthy choices. And they go, oh yeah, well, you're ugly, like, oh my. Excellent Hope. They probably wouldn't even take it to heart. Successful people don't typically take losers' opinions seriously. Princess Parabellum. As my retired colonel grandfather put it, kid, does the lion listen to the chattering of 1,000 baboons? From Salt with My Wounds.
Doctors turn interesting colors when you ask if you should take your glasses off for the phrenology exam, because clearly if they think BMI is a valid medical tool, the shape of my skull is also.
Phoenix Namor replies, if I were that fat logician's doctor, I would whip out my calipers right away and call their bluff. Doctor, uses calipers on fat rolls. Well,
I can see that you are 42% body fat and, moves calipers to skull, 10% of it is apparently in your head. Judging by the way the subcutaneous fat shapes your forehead, I'd say you have issues with impulse control, confirmation bias, and a particularly nasty temperament. Really, the very notion that this person compares BMI to phrenology is ludicrous and reaching. From Key Chemistry. A little bit of sanity. Imagine if people got offended when he told them that smoking cigarettes wasn't healthy, and they created a group called Cigarette Acceptance. Proud unemployment. Imagine if people also claimed that some people were meant to smoke 50 packs a day, and it's natural to just listen to what the body wants when it comes to smoking. Cyan, healthier at every puff.
I Sing Anyway brings us. It's a picture of a half-eaten cookie. I found half a cookie in the cookie jar. If I use my big girl math skills, that means I ate half a cookie. I don't remember doing that. My body made that choice, not my brain. That is intuitive eating. And apparently a heck has frozen over. Ms. Piggy replied, Intuitive eating means you black out when you eat. Might want to get that checked out. I Sing Anyway added, If you don't wake up in front of the fridge with a sandwich in your mouth, it's not really intuitive eating.
Beyond Che brings us.
Calorie intake does not correspond to body size. You have a fundamental misunderstanding of a number that is not real. Calorie restriction leads to weight gain, so this is not an argument that holds up.
Don't Call Me Cecilia replies, So you say, calorie intake does not correspond to size, but restriction makes you gain weight, which indicates that calorie intake is still related to body size? Which one is it? Is it correlated or not? Make up your minds.
From Depositional Practice.
If being fat gave you diabetes, all fat people would have diabetes. If being fat gave you joint pain, all fat people would have joint pain. If being thin made you healthy, all thin people would be healthy. If being fat gave you the virus, all fat people would have the virus. If being fat made you unlovable, all fat people would be single.
I gotta give him that one. That one's actually true.
If fat people were the current beauty standard, being fat would be healthy and thin people would be shamed. If dieting worked, you would be thin.
Ich bin gelangweilt replied,
If smoking caused lung cancer, all smokers would have lung cancer. If drinking caused cirrhosis, all drinkers would have cirrhosis.
A-Box adds,
If driving a car can cause death, all drivers would be dead.
Hard to believe it's even real. My 4-year-old would see through this logic. From Read. Underweight doesn't have to mean thin. A person who is underweight can be underweight at any size if the weight that they are is less than the weight that they would be without restrictive eating. A person doesn't have to be in a thin body in order to be underweight. If I restricted what I ate today and lost weight due to that restriction, I would be underweight, even if I was still statistically in the healthy weight range. Likewise, if my natural weight is around 200 pounds, and this is the weight that I am when I eat unrestricted, then if I should restrict food and settle at 190 pounds, I am underweight. Like it or not, body diversity is a real thing. Some people are in small bodies, some people are in larger bodies. Whatever size body you're in, if you restrict food and lose weight as a result of that restriction, you are underweight. And I don't care what height you are either. 2 people can both be 5'6", and one might be 140 pounds, the other might weigh 200 pounds, but both are right. Both are healthy, set par. I had to look up the last bit. Ceteris paribus is Latin for all other things being equal. Transcendent Sea Witch replies, This is possibly the most ridiculous one I've seen so far. So anyone who's lower than the highest weight they've ever been is officially underweight. I'm pretty sure that's not how it works. Read adds, Lol, it blows my mind. It was part of an article about the A eating disorder in overweight people, which yes, can absolutely happen. Atypical A eating disorder is a real thing. I don't dispute that, but that doesn't make this absurdity true.
From Tech5. You go, queen. Diet culture is very fatphobic to every plus-size body. Like, nobody wants your skinny white butt telling me how I should eat. If I want 2 Whoppers and a Dr. Pepper, I will do it, sis. We only have one life to live. Same applies to the diet culture doctors. Whenever I go for my yearly wellness check,
They always comment something about my weight every single time. Do they even know you could be healthy at any size? The BMI is outdated. Some little certificate telling me you used mommy and daddy's money to go to college and get a paper means nothing to me. Okay.
Not a potato replied. Ironic that the only doctor they trust is Dr. Pepper. Lopsided thumbs. It's the only doctor that doesn't talk about her weight, and yet still manages to bring it up.
Another from Wholly Redacted. Taste hunger is valid. That is wanting dessert after dinner even though you aren't physically hungry. Just a reminder that thinking about food is a sign of hunger. It's really okay if you're still eating past fullness, often on your intuitive eating journey. What to do when you want to eat emotionally? Eat emotionally.
Metro Dodo replied, I need to know who convinced people that this is what intuitive eating is. Owl Machine, Nestle, probably.
James Lindy tweeted, Fun fact, it's almost impossible to write descriptively about fat studies, fat activism, and the likes, without sounding like you're trying to make fun of it. I didn't make up the term faction modeling to replace plus-sized modeling, okay? And you can't write about it without sounding like you're making fun of it. He missed infinifat and deathfat. How am I supposed to take a movement seriously when the person choosing words seems to despise the movement?
Superb ad brings us. Yes, these are plants. It's a picture of some lettuce, an apple, carrots, and broccoli. And these are plants too. It's a picture of a chocolate bar, a bag of sugar, a bag of flour, and a bowl of rice with chopsticks. I guess technically chopsticks come from a plant. They continue on. There is no such thing as a plant hierarchy. Food is food is food. Diet culture loves to hijack eating by using fear-mongering and cherry-picking data to fit its narrative. MG replies, post sponsored by Nestle.
From Glorificus, it's a decision tree. Should I eat? Are you hungry? If yes, then what are you waiting for? Go eat. If the answer is I don't think so, then are you craving food? If yes, go eat. If not, I don't know. What if I'm just looking for an excuse to eat? Go eat! Pillow Princess replied, there is no option to just not eat. Like, putain de merde.
There is no escape.
Do you want an upset stomach? Because that's how you get an upset stomach. From Captain Cork. Myth number 6, a calorie is a calorie. The truth, on paper, it's simple math. A single gram of carbohydrates or protein contains 4 calories, whereas a gram of fat delivers 9 calories. But calories are not always what they appear to be. For starters, there is plenty of evidence that eating the same number of calories from processed foods encourages greater fat gain than eating them from whole foods. Funny Chad replied, processed foods are more likely to be less filling, substantial, and nutrient-rich, but in terms of calories, I'm pretty sure it's really just sicko. Lol. Sensitive Cobbler added, so I think I found a loophole. I had pizza for dinner, even though I'm lactose intolerant, because it's Good Friday, and pizza on Lent Fridays is just a thing. Anyway, the pizza made an emergency evacuation shortly after, so I googled what that meant for calorie absorption, and I found a whole new meaning of calories in, calories out.
A Witch Betwixt brings us. Remember that according to evidence-based research, your body doesn't determine your health.
Just forgot. Oh, really? And the brain doesn't determine mental health either? Woolly. Nah, it's all in your head.
If astrology isn't real, then why did I gain 30 pounds when Jupiter transited my first house? For all the really cool geniuses who are implying you gained weight because you ate, first of all, you don't know poop about my diet. For all you know, I could have thyroid issues or something. Second of all, I've always eaten a lot. My appetite has always been the constant, never changed. The point of this tweet is that my weight was also constant until Jupiter hit my first house.
Holy poop! How did the rest of us survive when Jupiter hit the Earth?
It's a pattern I observed. Welcome to astrology. Reddit girl. When you can't take responsibility for your actions, so you blame a ball of gas 500 million miles away. Actionable stupidity. I wish I could do that. Unfortunately, the only one full of gas responsible for my problems is me. From Bubble Battery. Are they actually celebrating being so unhealthy it leads to death now? Please tell me I'm reading this wrong. Since so many of you are new to my Instagram page, let me introduce myself. My name is blank, and I am a death midwife. Death midwives and doulas play a similar role to birth doulas, yet for the dying. I believe that taking the time to look at our own death and think of what we want for ourselves before our death happens brings a tremendous amount of freedom and presence to our day-to-day lives. I hope you'll find this page inspiring and feel supported on our journey of self-inquiry. Thanks for being here. Then they show the moon going through all of its phases. Today is a special day. Rainbow, 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 rainbow. I recently teamed up with fat activist and author Virgie Tovar to create a course that intersects death work and anti-diet work. Another way of living that brings great freedom. Heart, 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 heart. Our course, Anti-Diet is Death Work, is fully released onto the world today. I am over the moon and on top of the mountain. I feel so deeply passionate about shining a light on death in all its forms. Thank you, Virgie, for giving me that voice. My deep, sincere, and heartfelt thanks to all of you that signed up. May this course bring you freedom, joy, and deep reverence for our short time here. Lil Gecko replied, Fudging heck! That is morbid! Death doulas do an amazing and difficult job in helping people who may not have anyone else in their life be there with them during their last days and at their death. But to team up with people who actively promote eating yourself to death and trying to put an emotionally healthy spin on it because some people are destined to eat themselves to death is so creepy. This feels like a Black Mirror episode. Posted originally in Cringetopia by Juan Trussell. It's a picture of some obese women on the cover of Cosmopolitan. This is healthy, it says. This is healthy. 300,000 deaths every year in the U.S. attributed to obesity. But sure, give it your best try.
I'm aware that the article itself isn't saying that being obese is healthy, but the headline sure makes it look like that's what they're saying. And that's as far as most people will read.
From Cheesy Tortoise. You simply cannot be jacked and smart at the same time. It doesn't work that way. Somebody wrote, each large muscle of a bodybuilder represents a language he didn't learn, a poem he didn't read, a fun fact he never memorized. From Lamella, on a post comparing the average plate of pasta in Italy versus in the US, explaining why it is seen as a healthy meal in one country and not in the other. I'm just an Italian-American and mad at diet culture. Eating healthy and not weighing 400 kilograms is not diet culture. Sure it is. Peace sign. El Sombrabetado replied, Italy equals number 6 in life expectancy. The country that invented HAES and fat acceptance? 46th. HAES and fat acceptance tell us that weight is caused by genetics, not by diet and exercise. Why do Sicilians tend to weigh less than descendants of Sicilians in North America? Does moving to a country where the government subsidizes high fructose corn syrup change DNA? Archibald Crappins added, Yes it does. Where DNA means diabetes now assured. From one teen, apparently we are a naturally sedentary species? Since we always talking about what's natural and what's not, have we ever considered the idea that if I have to go to the gym for my body to look a certain way, then that's not how my body is naturally designed to look? Ancient matter. You know what else is natural? Being one of a family of 10, where half of your siblings didn't reach the age of 5, and then you yourself succumbed to an infection from a small cut at the age of 23. That was the peak of human experience. From Cocktail Onion. Yes, the key to a good relationship with food is eating cookies all day, every day. Someone writes, but what if I want to eat chocolate chip cookies all day? Someone replies, then eat chocolate chip cookies all day, darn it, blown out steam face. Someone else, but I have diabetes. Intuitively slamming donuts all day got me to this point. IF and keto gave me my health back. And the original person also writes, no, you don't understand. I'd eat them all day, every day. And someone replies, trust me, you won't. If it takes a whole month or a year of that to feel secure with your access to chocolate chip cookies, that's learning how to intuitively eat. But see, Drecka brings us something from the Fat Doctor. By the way, I'm not making up that name. The doctor herself calls herself the Fat Doctor. I have said in the past that I do not believe that obesity is a disease. It pathologizes fatness. Is baldness a disease? Nope. Weight loss is never the answer. Miss RX replied, isn't androgenetic alopecia, male pattern baldness, a disease along with alopecia areata, which is an autoimmune condition? ECW name redacted. Shh, she's a doctor.
And so, we come to the end of another video. I'd like to thank Hannah McNally, Sarah Ahern, Carl Williams, and MMC for their generous support. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, please consider clicking like and subscribe. If you liked it a lot, consider becoming a member. There should be a link in the description. The current schedule is I try to get one FatLogic video every 2 weeks, and in between I do somewhere between 2 to 5 Fat Logician cringe videos. See ya on the flip side.